What is up guys, Alex here, otherwise known as Clash with Style, and we are back with another Pigs in Blankets CWL. So, I'm glad to say that I am covering another one of their CWLs. It's certainly been a pleasure covering the past ones, and I'm looking forward to recording some of the attacks on this one. And I'd like to point out the fact that this is the first place they have came in CWL in a row. So they've been flying through these leagues, and they are now up to, I believe they are in Crystal 2 League now. So yes, they are now promoted to Crystal League 2. So let's go in and take a look at some of the war details. You can see they did indeed win every single one of these wars. Losing a few stars here on the third one, only 25, but other than that, some pretty strong attacks indeed. So we're just going to jump into it right now. Let's take a look. We're going to start off, down here with the number 14. Oh, excuse me, very burpy. Great start to the video. And you can see we have Big A, which I believe is one of Aaron's accounts. And if you can see here, obviously no Inferno Towers to deal with. So nothing, I mean, it should easily be a 3-star. And as you saw from the start of the video, it is going to be a 3-star. But you still have to get the job done. Obviously not all the defences are built here, we are missing a few. It's by no means a max Town Hall 10, but still you have to pull off those 3 stars for sure. And Big A going in here with a ground based attack strategy, so it's good to see Pigs in Blankets not always relying on all those E-drags to pull off all the 3 stars, but obviously at Town Hall 10 you don't get access to E-drags unless you bring one in the CC. So ground based attacks, in my opinion, one of the strongest. Obviously Lalo is another potentially pretty decent strategy, but you can see Big A doing pretty good work on this base. Rage spell going through the middle right here for them. That Wizard Tower doing a little bit of work on our troops down the bottom, but we've got quite a few up there, so it shouldn't cause us too many issues. I notice his P.E.K.K.A.s are only level 4. I need to get them up sooner rather than later, because it will make a big difference getting them up. The King doing some work, bashing on a wall at the top, followed by 2 ice golems, which I believe must have came out of the wall wrecker. And what is the Queen doing? Bashing on a wall, as she likes to do. Free spell drop there on the cannon and mortar, just to stop a little bit of damage there on the P.E.K.K.A. I want to keep it up to tank for our troops for as long as we possibly can. An ice golem popping up here on the top, going to help that other ice golem get through that cannon a little bit more. Bowler's going to get a little bit of value there, going to bounce over that elixir collector onto the archer tower. Queen is, her ability has been used, but she is getting tanked for by that P.E.K.K.A. and that is all the defences other than this air defence here down. So nothing, and this air defence, I'm completely blind. And yeah, so pretty easy work here. The Queen and everything else will bash through that wall. P.E.K.K.A.'s going in through the wall up the top, and the last building goes down there for a 3-star to start off this video. So it was by no means a perfect attack. A few things maybe went wrong. Not too sure why he brought 2 level 1 clone spells. Really not getting amazing value out of them, because I believe they only used them on bowlers down in this bottom section. I probably would have used them when the wall wrecker popped in the middle with probably just 1 clone spell as well as a heal and a rage. Would have got bowlers probably out of the CC, something like that, and got huge value pushing through the core. But nonetheless, Big A is able to pick up a 3-star right there to start off this video. So let's move on to the next one. And the next one we have for you guys is an air-based attack. Lalo going here for KRN. Obviously, again, no Inferno Towers to deal with, so it looks like it is a Town Hall 9 that is new to Town Hall 10. Unfortunately, one of the Lava Hounds going down very early on, a couple of bombs catching them, and they managed to take out all of the lava pups. So a little bit unfortunate there right at the start for KRN, but should be pretty easy pickings. A very low leveled Queen right there is not going to do too much work on our troops, and of course we have that big stone slammer which is going to do some seriously good work for us here. Balloons able to pick off a few of these buildings on the back end, nothing going to target them. 1 single air skelly will do a little bit of damage, and actually all the balloons are now down. It is just pretty much up to this stone slammer, as well as a couple of balloons on this bottom section to finish off this base, but it shouldn't be too much of an issue. 1 archer tower and a Tesla, and obviously that Queen still to deal with, but the stone slammer has so much health especially a level 3 one, that it's going to take a lot of damage to get it down. So it's going to move out here, start dealing with some of these outer buildings. That one balloon is going to take care of the queen for us, and right here I would probably just deploy the stone slammer, get the troops, whatever comes out of it, just to help clean up. King's and queen ability still in hand. King's ability going to be popped right there to help push in to the center. Queen as well going off right there, and we've got a couple of collectors as well as that storage on this left hand side to finish off right there to pick up another 3-star for PigsInBlankets from KRN. So well done on that one, not even needing the stone slammer to pop right there. So very, very impressive indeed. And the next one we have for you guys is another ground-based attack. I love to see them, and this one coming in from Scott Boys 247. So he is the guy that originally got me into this clan. Met him on Global. He invited me over to record their CWL. I ended up doing a recap for every single day, 1 through 7, which you can see in the CWL playlist. If you go and check that out, you can catch days 1 through 7 of, I believe it's their July CWL, if you're interested in that at all. I believe I also did a recap for them in the August season, but I'll need to double check that, can't actually remember. But we are now in the September edition of CWL, and again I'm back and we are recording, like I said, Scott Boys attack right here. So going in with these ground based troops, so many bowlers going to be pushing into that center right there. Unfortunately, the funnel not quite created. Those wall breakers that went in the start didn't quite break in to that final section, which is a little bit of a nightmare for Scott here, as he is not going to be able to get into that core. Although luckily we do manage to keep a lot of our bowlers there. Oh, not too sure about that rage spell, slightly off there. We end up missing a lot of the bowlers, but luckily another rage spell is going to help them push through the center of the base right there. We did have an E-drag come out of the wall wrecker, but unfortunately the air sweepers pushed it all the way to the outside, so it is going to just sweep around the outside for us. Hopefully stay out of range of this air defense for a little while. Rage spell going through the center there again, maybe not the best placement of that rage spell. Another heal spell used when nothing's really hitting them, so spell timing and placement, again something maybe that could be looked at from PigsInBlankets. These videos are to showcase their attacks, but also to help the players that are doing the attacks and to help anyone else doing these styles of attacks. I like to just give my advice, and if it helps in future attacks, lets them pick up a 3-star easier, then definitely going to be beneficial in my eyes. So unfortunately we did drop a free spell in here, but not before the air defense managed to take out the E-drag, so we will have that to worry about on the back end. Timing could have been an issue here, but luckily we still have a lot of bowlers going up and a couple of healers actually remaining, which is really helping us push through the rest of this base. We still have the Warden's ability in hand as well. I maybe would have used that through the center while those bowlers were really getting hit hard, but the bowlers on this core will deal with that wizard tower there, and the rest of them will just sweep around the rest of this base. These two healers down the bottom doing a great job of keeping that king alive. He looked like he was going to die at some point, but those healers brought him back up to full health, and he's really done a great job of sweeping around this bottom section, helping us and making sure Scott doesn't have anything to worry about with timing. Warden's ability used right there, not really even needing to be used. We just speed up to ×2 to finish off here. Air defense goes down, and another 3-star for PigsInBlankets. I love to see these ground-based attacks. Bowlers, really tough to funnel them, but Scott did manage to do it in the end with this one, even with those wall break fails at the start. So well done, Scott, on that one. We are now going to be taking a look at the classic E-drag spam. Now this is definitely PigsInBlankets' favourite strategy. I've tried my hardest to persuade them to move away from this strategy, but they're too reliant on it. So yeah, that's what we're going to be looking at for pretty much the remainder of these attacks, is E-drag spam, but they do manage to pull off 3-stars with it, so that is why I'm going to be showcasing them right now. So if anyone caught that free spell at the start, unfortunately we did miss that air defense, which caused us a little bit of an issue as it took out our stone slammer very, very early on, probably earlier than Gypsy would have wanted right here. Rage spells used all very early through this base, but it doesn't matter because obviously those E-drags get great chain value, which means a lot of these buildings on the bottom section will be dealt with, but it means we have no rage spell to deal with these enemy clan castle troops. But luckily that E-drag in the center is going to focus in on those barbarians, which were summoned by the Barbarian King, and it will allow this E-Drag, our E-Drag in the middle, to deal with the enemy E-Drag, and it means that we've not got that to worry about on the back end. The Queen is doing a little bit of work there, but she is going to fall as her ability has already been popped. Same with the King up the top, although actually nothing's going to target him as he's going to bash on a wall. So many E-Drags left up at the end of this attack, and Gypsy makes this look very, very easy indeed. So he did use all of his rage spells up this top section pretty early on, but obviously these E-Drags chain value was huge as everything was clumped up together, and it meant that they could push all the way down here with their attack and with those lightnings, and it meant they were still up the top in those rages, and we already cleared all this bottom section. So well done to Gypsy on that 3-star. Definitely a good solid attack there with E-Drags. Sometimes they're a little bit lucky, but that was certainly very skillful indeed, so well done on that one. Let's move on to the next one. And we have Bones coming in on this next one, and it is indeed a Town Hall 12, and as you can see, got to love it, E-Drag spam going in right here. So the thing that always gets me about E-Drag spam is you're either going to do really well or you're not. There's no two ways about it. A lot of the time you'll find it's going to be a 2-star, high percent 2-star, and sometimes you might even miss that Town Hall if you don't funnel correctly. We do have all single target infernos on this one, so I probably wouldn't be hitting it with E-Drag spam. I'd probably be going in with maybe like Drag Bat, something like that, to deal with those single target infernos. It would be perfect as some of these wizard towers are clumped up, but Bones choosing to come in here with that E-Drag spam. All of his rage spells again used very, very early on. Warden's ability, oh, could have done with the Warden's ability being popped probably while a lot of these E-Drags were over the Town Hall, as they were taking a lot of damage indeed. Queen's ability used at a pretty strange time right there. Nothing really targeting the Queen, so not too sure on Bones' thinking behind that one. I probably would have saved the Queen's ability for this back end, where we've got a lot of expos, archer towers, cannons, stuff that can really take the Queen out very, very quickly indeed. So look at all this that these troops have to deal with on the back end. Warden's ability used right there. Again, not really too sure on the thought behind that Warden's ability. The E-Drag's not even really in range of anything, only the Queen that it was really benefiting right there. So let's see how Bones is able to pick up this 3-star on the back end. So I probably would have saved the Warden's ability till about now, when they start getting targeted by the Expos, the Wizard Tower, the Archer Tower, whatever. But nonetheless, Bones obviously does manage to get it done. Tornado Trap going off right there, but only catching one of the E-Drags, which is perfect for us. They are still able to get that chain lightning right there. Value is just phenomenal on these bases. These clumped up bases are perfect for E-Drags, I have to admit. PigsInBlankets probably on a few of these bases making the right decision going in with E-Drag spam, because they're so clumped up. It makes very easy work of it indeed. Seeking Airmine going off, not quite taking off that E-Drag at the end, not quite taking it out, and Bones able to pick up a pretty convincing 3-star right there. So well done on that one. Let's move on to the next one, which I believe might be a Lalo attack. And it is indeed, we have a Lalo again coming in from KRN. Obviously their favourite strategy right now is Lalo, and they seem to be pretty successful with it. The one thing, if we pause it here for a second, we really need to worry about with Lalo is the E-Drag in the middle, because if we don't deal with that, if we don't have anything targeting it, it is going to wreck through our balloons on the back end, and even deal with those lava hounds very early on. We'll have nothing to tank for us. So KRN opting to use freeze spells through the center to deal with that E-Drag, to freeze it up a little bit, to allow the rest of our troops to push around it and get out of range as quickly as we can. So we've got a large group of balloons coming, pushing through this left hand side around the Town Hall. They're sweeping around this base, getting some pretty good value. And at the end of the day, again, it is going to be this Stone Slammer that is the MVP of this attack. It is going to hold up on this back end against a lot of these defenses, The E-Drag luckily did get held up a little bit by those lava pups, which allows this Stone Slammer to really get a little bit of a head start on the E-Drag and take out a few of these defenses before it can quite catch up. So it is going to get a shot off there, but the Stone Slammer not quite going down yet. I'm going to guess it is balloons that is going to come out of the Stone Slammer and a dragon. Oh, so just as well he brings a dragon here, as it will be able to deal with that E-Drag. Luckily, just going to be able to deal with it. The E-Drag going to get off 3 shots on it. I believe one of them was a chain value shot when it took out those balloons at the start, so just as well he took out the E-Drag there. But we did of course have the king as well as the queen on the back end of this attack, so it would have been easy to clean up that E-Drag with the queen and her ability. On the back end we've got a couple of archers left that we're just going to pop in there on that right hand side to deal with the cleanup, and it looks like the town hall might be the last building to fall here. Could be a 99% 1-star, but no, the dragon is going to get in the town hall, queen's going to deal with that balloon, and it is indeed the town hall is the last one to go down. A very impressive 3-star there from KRN. And just a word of advice, if you are going in with those air-based attacks and it's not E-Drags, it is Lalo, something like this, something to think about might be a queen walk into Lalo. That means the queen with a couple of healers, either 4 or 5, will go in, deal with the enemy queen, hopefully pick off a wizard tower, maybe an inferno and an air defense, and deal with the clan castle. And that means you've got a few of those things out of the way and you can Lalo in the back portion. But again here it was a good 3-star, but queen walk Lalo might be, or queen charge Lalo, sorry, might be something for KRN to think about in the future. So well done to them on that one, and let's move on to some more E-Drag spam. And we now have Aaron coming in here with, like I said, some E-Drag spam, and let's see whereabouts he's going to go in from. So the air defenses are indeed very spread out here, but we've got 2 in close proximity right here, so I maybe would have gone in from this section, deal with them nice and early on, get them out the way as quickly as we can. Going to use a rage spell nice and early on through this attack, get those E-Drags raged up and get rid of both of those multi-target infernos as quickly as we possibly can. Warden's ability used pretty early on there, but it is going to mean that we miss a few eagle shots, as well as those E-Drags won't be hit by the enemy clan castle E-Drag while the Warden's ability is going off. So we get the town hall down, which is perfect. There isn't a giga bomb in there because it's not upgraded fully yet. We've got 3 E-Drags up on this left hand side which are going to chain through and deal with that air defense, which is perfect for us. But we do have this air defense on that right hand side which hasn't quite gone down yet. We do still have 1 rage spell which goes down right there. Took the words right out of my mouth. And I've noticed here that Aaron's rage spells aren't even quite maxed, so only level 5. He's obviously got the level 6 one in his clan castle, but this air defense on this right hand side is going to cause us a little bit of an issue right here. That E-Drag is going to get taken out by it, but we've got so many E-Drags on this left hand side, as well as the king and the queen, which haven't even been used here. So queen is going to deal with that air defense right there, then going to push on, use her ability and be able to take out the rest of these cannons and stuff. And look at this, easy 3-star. I actually completely forgot about his heroes, so maybe it could have been an idea at the start of this attack to use those heroes to take out an air defense earlier on, but a lot of the time, like Aaron did here, it is a good idea to save them for the back end so you can clean up any of those buildings that maybe might be taken out, the E-Drags might get taken out from, like that air defense. So the queen was easily able to step up there, deal with it, and it meant that the E-Drags didn't have to worry about that on the back end. So well done to Aaron on this one, and I believe the next one is our last attack of this recap. So let's go and take a look at what we have in store. And we have Peter Bombeater going in here with the classic E-Drag spam. So I know I just call it E-Drag spam and I say, oh, there's no skill involved in E-Drags, but PigsInBlankets have managed to pull off plenty of 3-stars using this strategy, and at the end of the day 3-stars are the only thing that matters. So if they're pulling them off, I guess it really doesn't matter how much skill or no skill is involved. But you can see Stone Slammer going in nice and early here. Warden's ability is going to allow it to get through that single target Inferno beam for a little bit before getting taken out, so getting some pretty good value there. E-Drag's pushing into that rage spell which Peter has got through the center. Warden's ability has already been used, so this single target Inferno is going to cause us some issues, but we get the free spell down on the air defense single target Inferno as well as that Expo, so getting some great value from that free spell. Another rage spell used on the top and one on this left hand side. Queen now in from this bottom section, King in from the left. They are hopefully going to be able to take out some of these buildings and keep the E-Drags funneled into the center. Very important we get rid of that single target Inferno as quickly as we can, otherwise it is going to roast our E-Drags and we're going to struggle with it on the back end. So that E-Drag up the top is going to fall right there, but not before it gets off a chain shot right there. So the single target Inferno as well as that Expo are on very low health. Queen and King's ability both still in hand, and we can swag a rage spell right there. It's not even going to need to be used. Queen's ability not used, King's ability not used. Peter absolutely destroys this base with those E-Drags. So a very impressive 3-star there to finish off this video, swagging the King Queen's ability as well as that rage spell. So well done to Peter on this one, and of course well done to PigsInBlankets on yet another first place in their September CWL. So if you did enjoy this video, I really would appreciate it if you dropped a like. Comment as well which one of these attacks was your favourite. For me, it was either one of those Lalo or the Pee-wee Bow at the start. Queen Walk by Scott was also very impressive indeed. So well done on those attacks, guys. Subscribe too, it would be great to have you guys on board. We are climbing and getting close to that 2,000 subscriber mark, so it would be great to get there in the next month or so. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.